Good morning everyone, EagleX from ATX EagleX Gaming here today, and I have our market watch. I know it's been about 2 weeks since I've had my last one, but there's been some things moving in the market that I want to take note of with you guys. And if you guys enjoy this content, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys notice or enjoy seeing from these videos. With that being said, let's get started. First things first, as always, I like to start with the sealed market, kind of show where some singles might be trending up or down in general. And we're seeing that the gap between 1.0 and BT9 has been lengthened a bit, 1.0 holding a bit more value despite the fact the reprint set is coming around the corner, the Resurgence Booster, or what was called Rising Winds in Japan. And then, on a really interesting note, Double Diamond's been dipping down. With the Ghost Omni card, this was like one of the big chase sets for a while, just because it's the only one that had a ghost card in it, but the lottery card's been going down in general, so if you don't have your ghost omnis, I would definitely look at considering getting them at this point. Your other boxes that are maintaining value, I'll be honest, across time, this is such a good steal for prices right now, considering that your average SR is like pretty well priced throughout the set. Your Marcus Daemons, I'll show here in a moment, like some other rares are worth money in the set. But your Shine Gray is a $15 SR, Arrestor a $5 SR, Metal Gray $1 SR, Beelza X $7 SR, and like you can build a Hunter's deck like from your bulk too, so like you can sell a completed deck like fairly reasonable from a few boxes. But that's just some things that I want to take note of. Like, this is a pretty good value set, not to mention that the alt arts can really hit well. Alt Art Ty, Alt Art Marcus being like good ones, and any of the lottery ones, if you get any of those, Darkness Bagra, Golden Superior, Alt Shine, Alt Quartz, like you have your value if you pull like half decent in the set. But moving on to bulk corner, first thing I want to point out is if you guys haven't seen, the regional cards from this most recent regional set have been uploaded. So if we want to go down to our participant ones, this includes Participant War Growl, which is selling steadily at the $10 mark, Aldemon around the $10 mark canon-wise, closer to the $5 mark. And I'm trying to remember what else comes in this pack, because you don't break it up by pack on here. The Pyildramon comes in this pack, it's kind of bad. I want to say there's one more card I'm missing. Oh, Rise Gray. Rise Gray is also in this pack, and the Omni Shout. Haven't been sold yet, so they're probably going to be pretty darn cheap also overall. But those are just some of the cards to keep an eye on if you guys are looking to move your regional promos. Now, other bulk cards. Memory Blocking Terriermon is at almost an all-time high at $5 for the base rarity Terriermon. Now, I am curious, like, I didn't look this up beforehand, but where are the other arts of Terriermon for Memory Blocker? We got roughly 15-16 for the 1 year, roughly 7 to 8 for the Tamer set 1, and roughly 5 for the regular art 1. And these are definitely cards you want to look at moving, because if I recall correctly, this is going to be reprinted in the RB01 set if you have extras. We'll take a look towards the end here of what is in RB01 to keep an eye on though. And then I want to point out Marcus Daemon, BT12. No one's surprised, Shine's doing well, this card's going up in price, and is selling at the roughly $2 mark if we look at sales history. So make sure you have your copies or move your extra copies, especially if you think this is going to get hit on the ban list. But that is yet to come for any announcement. For another bulk card, BT10 Korea. BT10 is another set that's actually become very solid from lots of staple commons and rares. And Korea from Blue Flare is one of those cards. He is in the $1 mark now, so if you have extra Koreas, you have extra dollar bills. And if we just look at this set as a whole, it's another one where you have really good pulls. Your alt arts are solid, you have really solid SRs. Not to mention, like, if we go to best selling, we can see some of the better selling bulk, which includes Searcher Palmon, which is like $1.50 now. You have the other bloom support stuff. I think the sunflowers are starting to get up there as well. I know sparrows are roughly $1 for the regular rare, along with the Korea we just mentioned. Sunflowers and Agitars are still 50-ish cents, same with the Greymon, but it's stuff that's trending up. I've been selling sparrows at $1 each, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the Renamon stuff go up over time as well. But this is another set that actually has some pretty decent value. Next, I want to talk about BT13. We've been seeing lots of alt arts spiking up lately, and I kind of want to just gauge out from what I was seeing from Japan market and how I compare it over. I know people have been mentioning in the comments, Zach, when you look at these prices, it's not a dollar for the currency to USD, and I'm very well aware, guys. The whole idea when I look at Japan prices is so I can give a rough ballpark estimate. I'm not doing math to convert. I'm just saying it's going to be roughly in the X price range, XYZ price range. And this is from UU and Big Web as my two sites. But when we see Omnimon hovering around that $55 to $60 mark, it might have $5 shipping. It doesn't. So it's like 55 to 60-ish right now. If we looked at Japan prices for the Omni, I mean, I will say some of their stuff is overpriced when it comes to like main characters. Omnimons, Gallantmons, Sakuya line stuff is typically a little higher priced. The arena for Ulforce is also a little pricier. So like, it makes sense that the secret for this is going up, but I don't expect it to hit the same price levels for their Gallant or their Omni overall. I think this is probably like the peak of the price for Omni and Gallant, realistically, because we haven't had an alt art hit like $100 besides Death X at its peak, and that was like 120-ish. But if we look at like the other alts, we look at the Alphamon, we look at the Magnamon. If we look at Alpha and Magna, Alpha, it's like 100 yen. Magnamon, it's a parallel rare, which is down here. It's like 90 USD or 9,000 yen. And we can compare it from the other site here too, just to kind of average out. Alpha's bought out at 900 yen. Meanwhile, the Magna is in stock at 128 yen. It's overpriced here if it's in stock. It's overpriced here if it's in stock. So like, it's generally going to be a bit lower than that, and a bit lower than that. It's roughly 50 to 60 bucks. But if we look at some of the other cards, like the Dynasmon, the Leopardmon, those two have been spiking up in price lately. Leopard, roughly 50 in Japan. Dynus, roughly 35 in Japan. The Dynus is probably a bit overpriced here. The Leopard is probably closer to its settling price in the long run. 35 for Leopard here, Dynus 45 here, so if you average out, it's like 35 to 40. And it's honestly what you're comfortable spending, but I do think the Dynus is a bit pricier than what it should be. But just a quick glance at other Alt-Art Royal Knights, I don't think you see them below the $20 threshold, despite playability may not be the best. Like the Examon, I think, is the least playable of them all. Genku is super solid as a wild card for Royal Knights in the deck. Any SR ones that aren't worth much. Crania's got bought up. But I don't think there's anything... Oh, if you count the Leopard mode for Leopard, it's going to be a bit weird. Anyways, that's why I want to talk about BT13 though. Like, if you look at the Japan prices, it's not always going to line up, but I typically ballpark with a 1-to-1 currency conversion as to kind of gauge where some stuff's going to be going. Next, I want to talk about future product releases, RB01 in particular. If you guys notice, EX4 was the last set where MSRP was $4.19 a pack, then it went up to $4.49 a pack, meaning boxes were going to be a bit more pricey. RB01 has a special price though of basically $5 a pack. And you can see like future product goes back down to $4.49. So when it comes to distribution, you can expect this to have like a more premium price attached to it. And when we're looking at this card set, if you look at the Japan card pool for RB01, which I have here, we can get a rough idea aside from like the cards printed for the set. Like we have a reprint of Promo Agu here, which is why he has that line, you treat him as that name for P009 Agu. And same thing with, I think it was a Greymon, yeah, the Greymon, you also treat him as the same name. Aside from those, you can see the actual reprinted cards, and that's what I kind of want to talk about today. Like the ones I would really look at selling now if you feel like the prices are going to dip a lot. Like Upa, I'm not concerned about Upas anymore. Wanya has basically power crept this card. Koopy, it's still good on its own for yellow Secon decks, and maybe Kentaurus decks, but Kentaurus typically wants to manipulate your security below. Tanemon, I don't think this card's actually seen play besides maybe 1.0. The Searcher Agu, he's alright. I don't expect his price to be much. And I guess I should specify, we don't know the exact card pool list, besides the fact that Memory Boost will not be in these alt-art ones. But you can gauge and get a good idea. Like Magna Angemon reprint, he's 11 bucks right now in US. And that would indicate that it's probably going to keep going down if we expect a lot of people to open this product, but I'm not expecting many people to open this product. The alt-arts will retain their value, as you can't pull the alt-arts of it, but yeah, it's roughly 11 right now. Your memory fixers is probably one of the big ones being reprinted. This is like the first solid reprint of this tie. He hasn't been reprinted in like a realistic way. He was a box stopper in like VT10, I think it was. But TK's, Mimi's, they've been reprinted once in TP3, that was a while ago. But seeing the Diabora egg here, this card's actually worth a good chunk right now just because he hasn't seen a reprint in such a long time. But yeah, he's like $2-3 give take right now. And he's starting to trend down. I think people are starting to offload before we expect the reprint of it in RB01. Another card that is worth a good chunk, your Salas, they're worth decent money. Gabus, they're worth decent money. I think this is like a $3 card. Gabumon BT2069. Toyagus, they're alright. I don't think they're super pricey anymore. Yeah, they're like 30 cents. The Digifest ones really helped the price of that one. But your yellow Upas, oh yeah, we mentioned Terriermon. This card's being reprinted more than likely, so just keep an eye out. I would move these if you have them. $5 for regular art. It's pretty good price. But your Demimeras, they're used in so many purple decks, and this is probably going to be an evergreen staple, not evergreen, but like an always staple card for purple decks. So I would be moving the regular ones if you guys have extras. Jamming Vs don't see a lot of play anymore besides niche armor decks. Blossoms restricted to 1. Lilithmon, this is actually an interesting one because this is a card that could honestly be a problem in the long run of Digimon. And it spiked up due to the use of Millith Loop. But seeing it at roughly a $13 SR from 1.0, I think it's pretty interesting, and I would probably expect this card to go down in price, if not stay. Pretty realistically, it's always going to be wanted in purple decks. It just needs the right format to be very abusable. HPD, I don't expect this to affect the price. It's roughly $1. It has an alt art. And realistically, I can see this card getting banned some point in the future just because zero memory to gain 6 is pretty good, and it's not even a downside in purple decks anymore. I don't see anything super notable here. A lot of these cards have just been lost to time. Like, you have better hybrids now than the original ones. Nidhogg, I don't think I've seen that card see play in years. Or feels like years. Blinding Ray. This is actually a solid one. This card sees play still. It's like $2 to $3 right now. If you have extras, I would look at moving. Jack Raids, I don't think they're worth much in the US right now. But if you want a shiny one, getting them in RB01 is going to be like the max rarity. Yeah, they're like a quarter each. Lucemon hasn't seen play in ages, but if they expect to see the other Lucemon lines, it could go up. Draw Koro eggs. This is probably one of the best reprints in the set, to be honest, because Draw Koro I don't think will ever be crept out of the game as long as Greymon decks are a thing. Being a $4 to $5 uncommon, it's definitely needing a reprint. Sayako hasn't seen realistic play besides like niche tech against hunters. Weedmon stopped seeing play when Grandis stopped using it and Bloomlord had better veggies to drop. Mechanori lost the time, just not used anymore. Shademon, same thing. Blitz Omni, he's an evergreen staple in my opinion. Like, Blitz on top of any of your level 6s that are red or blue is really solid and is worth seeing more play as well. With purple decks relying more on him. I'm not really impressed from the teamers here. Ultimate Flare, it's been power crept out. You have better black removal options now. The reprinted Omnis as secrets, it's just so weird to me, but like I get it. But realistically, these cards will probably hold their price just from how many people are actually opening this product, but it also depends on pull rates, I guess, too. Seeing Star Deck Greymon reprinted is solid. He's like $5 for regular art. Kaitis hasn't seen play besides Bellstar. Patamon, I don't think seen play in a moment, but your Garuru promo. This is a card that people were buying up when they saw the new Garuru support, but I'm pretty sure everyone forgot that it is more than likely going to be reprinted in the Rising Wind set or Resurgence booster. Yeah, literally saw it double in price recently. If you don't have them, don't sweat it. I would probably just wait for people to open RB01 if you expect people to open it in your area. And I would sell your extras if you have extras right now. And the only other promo I think is actually worth money is this Demi-Devimon. Okay, this Diaboramon's been reprinted into the ground. This Caramon, it's not been reprinted in the ground, but it's just not been worth much lately because Diaboramon and the Inherent's not super crazy. You have 2,000 DP buffs on your opponent's turn now. Just because this has not been reprinted since TP1, it makes sense that's worth something. Or Event Pack 3, sorry. It did have one Event Pack reprint. And the Digimon, I'm pretty sure that's still worth a few bucks. Like 6 of... Oh, yeah, he's like 10-ish right now. He's niche Digimon support. And he's like 10 bucks right now. If you have extras, not bad idea to list them, unless you like the OG printings without foil. And I don't think there's anything else super notable from the reprint set that I would keep an eye out on the market. Because we already know the Alt-Art Memboosts are going to be included in a gift box set. Security Rookies have already been reprinted in our most recent TP set. With that being said, if you guys enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, comment below. With that being said, take care, y'all.